Hey guys, well, I just kind of want to talk to you guys about panfish. We talk a lot about bass, we talk some about walleye and some pike, even a couple of videos, or well, one video on muskie. What I want to talk to you about is panfish. You know, like we can even include perch in there too. Perch is they're not panfish, but they kind of live in the same areas as panfish, like the bluegills and crappies. But what I want to get into is, you know, the lures and the rods that I use for them, and it's actually really not that hard, and kind of like my little tricks that I like to use for them too. The reason why I'm thinking about this is just random thought. When I was just doing one of my last videos here, you know, I was using a rod and for a hair jig rod. Well, what I was also using that rod for was panfish. It was a great panfish rod too, so I kind of want to share that with you guys as well, and also some of the lures and how I organize my panfish baits. I don't carry a ton of panfish stuff. I got two boxes for panfish. That's it. I don't need a lot for panfish because they'd only eat so many small things. Small things, you can fit a lot of small things in one of those boxes. So what do I want to go over first? Let's go over the rod. So that rod that I was showing you guys, let's see if I can do this here. Right here, this Savage Gear Squad rod. That's a 610 medium light. Can you even see that? I don't even know. It's hard for me to even tell on this little screen. If you can't, sorry, I'll put it up on the screen. I'll probably just put it on the screen anyways. It's a 610 medium light, fast action rod. This rod actually worked pretty good for panfish. I fought numerous bluegills on them, and I showed it in a couple of my other videos, and handles just fine. Handles great. You know, it's a medium light. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you want, for panfish, you want a light rod, light action. But a medium light works well too. So you can double utilize that rod if you wanted to. You know, save yourself some cash, and you don't have to buy so many rods. You can double utilize it. It's just like I did. The other thing is, you know, maybe for panfish, if you want to get that way out there, I mean, I haven't really felt the need to really like launch a bait super far. But if you do, just go with the longer rod. Line size, super, you know, go with light line. Probably, I don't know. Well, what I had on that one, 10-pound braid to a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. It worked for me. It might work for you. Try that out. If you want to, you can go a little bit lighter. You go maybe like an 8-pound braid and a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. That'd work too. That actually might be a little bit better. I mean, I know it would be a little bit better. It's just that it's a little bit light. I fish around weeds, so I like to go just up a little bit more. You know, play by ear. You can try it out lighter, and if you start losing fish because you're around weeds, just bump it up a little bit. With that said, the rod, I mean, handled great with those bluegills that I was catching. I found a huge pod of bluegills, like a huge pod, and I would just throw that little small jig out there and just catch them and just, you know, bring them on in, and it worked out just fine. You don't have to set the hook like King Kong or anything. The only problem is it's a fast action rod, not very parabolic, so you really do have to keep pressure on them, otherwise you will lose them. You got a little small hook inside of a little small bluegill mouth, or whatever fish you're catching, perch, you know, crappies. Crappies are even worse because their mouth, inside their mouths, is like paper. It's like very paper thin, so you can easily rip it out of there. So I mean, I guess if you think about it, that's not your ideal rod, but it can work. Your ideal rod is going to be light, or it can be medium light, just more of a parabolic bend, so you're going to want to go with moderate. But hey, that one worked for me, so you know, you can give that a shot too. You can double utilize it. But we're going to go into the jigs now and the tackle box. So I'll show you how I organize my boxes a little bit, and you know, kind of how I situate them in the boxes. I don't know how else to say that, but we're gonna go over that, and I'll show you a couple of things that I like to throw, things I haven't thrown that I really want to. But the biggest thing is I'll show you a couple of tricks on how to stop those because those bluegills, they like to nip right at the end, right at the tail of those baits. They like to nip at those baits, and they just like to grab the tail, not the hook. I mean, you can have like, gosh, like an 1/8 of an inch of a tail, and sometimes they'll just grab that little tail and not the hook. It's quite amazing, actually. I've watched it. So when they're that finicky, that's what they'll do. When they're really hungry and they don't care and they're savages, they'll engulf the whole thing. But I'll show you that little bit, that little trick here, and we're gonna actually go into the back box here. Got some things, you know, just kind of moving around here, just trying to get set up for next season. I guess actually I got some my walleye spinners in here. I do fish for walleyes every once in a while. I do like to pull spinners. So I keep my Panfish boxes here up on the top. And let's see here. Oh, okay, whoops. All right. So I just, you know, you're probably wondering, whoop, gosh, camera control, hang on. Why am I not, oh, just bring these back up here. Why am I using, sorry, I gotta move some stuff around here. Why am I using these old Cabela's boxes? Yeah, or you can use whatever else you want. Sorry, these are for something different. But, you know, why am I using these boxes as opposed to Bass Mafia, where they got their full enclosed, waterproof, and all that other stuff? It's simple. Organization. So, Bass Mafia boxes, let's put them up right here. Good boxes, really good boxes, but here's one spot here where you can put, you know, one of those dividers. Divider here, divider here, divider here. So you've got a lot of space in here. On these ones, I've got a divider here, 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 you know, or, you know, whatever, so on. So for every one divider here, I've got two. So with that said, open this up here. You can see, look at how many spots I've got right there. So I don't really need a ton of areas. I've got specific jigs and plastics, and I've got weights here, some snap swivels, some bobber stops, and old school bobber stops. Look at this stuff here. Get that out of there. Look at that. Old school. They'll still do have a place too. Don't think they don't. Got some small swim baits here. The Beetle Spin little spinner right here. Got a couple of spoons down in here. We got some jigs. Got some hair jig here with the spinner on the bottom. That thing is pretty fire. And then we got our other stuff here. Some more Beetle Spin stuff here. And I do like these Beetle Spins as well. We got some pre-rigged jigs here. Some more pre-rigged jigs here. Now these ones I haven't really gotten a whole lot of use out of yet. I just haven't thrown them often. I don't know why. They're the Z-Man, I don't know what they call them. They're the pretty much the little guys. Yes, the original chatterbait, but these are the small ones. Like they're little. And we got even a smaller one yet. Look at that. That thing looks just tasty. You know, maybe this would be great for smallmouth too. So, I don't know, maybe that's something I need to try out as well. A lot of these baits here, actually, I have one for smallmouth. We got a couple of, you know, smaller crankbaits here too. And, you know, top water right here. This guy's pretty tasty. So, that's one box. And we got a bunch of jigs and stuff there. This next box here, we got same type of box, but just because of the organization method. You know, I got a bunch of random plastics here. And I say random because I got them in some mystery tackle boxes and, you know, some lucky tackle boxes too. Some of these, you know, date way back when I was getting lucky tackle boxes. But a lot of these, you know, we got some tubes here. And of course we got some ARO Custom Jigs stuff here. Those are pretty good little grubs. Like those. Those were pretty good, as a matter of fact. We got one rigged up here. Not much of a tail on it. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll just set that right there. And then some of these are from, you know, our mystery tackle boxes that we got. I think these are from like the Christmas ones, the 12 Days of Fishmas. And we got some other stuff here too. And these are actually kind of a sleeper panfish bait. This thing is really awesome. So it's got 2 hooks in it. You see the hooks there? It's got 2 hooks in it. So it's a pre-rigged worm on, I'm not sure what kind of line it is, but it's a pre-rigged worm. And this thing always gets bit. And the reason why I really like it is look at this hook at the end here. There's not that big of a tail. The hook is all the way down by the end of it, is what I mean. There we go. And what that means is that those fish, they actually bite that hook more than that they would the plastic. So that's pretty good. I got a couple different ones of those, or versions of those. And then we got some hooks, bobbers, and that's pretty much all you need. I mean, you don't have to get too crazy with panfish stuff. I mean, they eat a lot of different things, so you know, it's actually fairly simple. Now, what I want to get into, this little guy right here. So you see how that tail is right there? So you can probably tell. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I don't want to take them out of the package right now. I really can't because I need 2 hands. But you can tell with these guys, there's a longer tail than what we got going on here. So that's by intention. You know, that was my intention. That was on purpose. Now, I did that because the bluegill were biting on the tail way out here. They're just biting on that tail way out there, and they weren't getting the hook. And I got sick and tired of it. So all I did is I just pinched off that plastic and threw it out there. And the thing is, if you throw that hook out there, if you throw, like, so if you throw, sorry, let me, you throw this jig out there, and you can watch them sometimes. I mean, like I have, I watched them grab this whole thing, put the whole thing in their mouth. You can't see anything. If you don't somewhat set the hook, do a reel set by like just spinning the reel to set the hook. If you don't just do something, they'll spit it back out. This hook isn't going to get stuck, so they'll spit it back out almost right away. So you got to watch it, or when you feel that tick, start reeling. You don't have to set the hook; just start reeling, and then they'll set it themselves because they get crazy and they start doing the little circles in the water. It's pretty cool, but that's why I trim off that back part there. And this little jig right here is a little VMC Neon Moon Eye jig. I love these little VMC Neon Moon Eye jigs. They got me a lot of fish, a lot of walleyes, a lot of, I mean, I haven't really, bass wise, I'm not really sure. I don't think I've caught a lot of bass on them yet, but I haven't thrown them a lot for bass, so it's not their fault. Panfish, this little guy, it's got quite a few fish, so give that a shot. If you're looking for panfish, a little bit, I mean, you don't even have to go for that. I mean, so in one of our mystery tackle boxes, we got these guys. I mean, that's gonna work too. I mean, if they really don't want the chartreuse, you know, then you have to change the color. You know, find something different. That's all you gotta do. It's just find what they want to eat. Just go through a couple of different jigs. Once you do, start pulling them out of the boat. But yeah, that's my well, a little bit of my rod setup, I guess. Another one, and then how I organize these guys, and you know how I throw them. I guess, you know, we could get into about, you know, how to throw the jigs and stuff. I mean, there's so many different things. Pretty much what I do is just throw it out there, let it sit there, let it free fall. They're usually vicious. So as it's free falling, they're usually already going after it, and then you already get a bite. Sometimes you get a bite almost as soon as the thing hits the water. That's pretty cool. I like that. And one of the reasons why I'm going over this is because, and why I have these in the boat, it's because sometimes bass fishing gets frustrating. Sometimes nothing works out, and sometimes you just need to take a break. And that's when I will go fishing for some bluegills or crappies, because you can always find them. They're around in just about every lake. They're just about everywhere, and they're super easy to catch. It's easy to get your mind off things, and then once you get your mind off things, you get in a little bit better mood, then go back to bass fishing, and then hopefully you won't get as upset. Hopefully you figure things out. That's what's worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you. But that's my my panfish setup and organization and stuff like that. So hopefully it helps you guys. I know it helps me, and I don't know what else to say about panfish stuff, but go out and give it a shot. Let me know how you guys do, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.